Okay, coming at you, the JoeJoe Show number 36, 36, for those who don't habla. Short and sweet, or it's time almost for trick or treat.
I think it's 35.
No, we had 35 the other day. You put 34 on the net, but it was 35. But we can correct. I got it written down in our log here. Hottest topics in the north of the tropics, globally, nationally, locally. LSU's ranked number 1. What can you say? That's national news, too.
Yep.
The big elephant, white elephant, that is, pink, red elephants, Bama, Tuscaloosa, a couple of weeks from now. We'll get to that later. Globally, Big Daddy bags Baghdadi down there wherever he was, and he got his second henchman. And then they said, oh, well, Trump should have let Obama and everybody else know about it. Obama would have ratted us out, just like the people do in the sanctuary cities when they know ICE is coming. What do you think, Joe?
Do y'all remember the Arab Spring, 2011? Do y'all remember there? Hold up, I don't know if I'm in the picture. All right, so y'all remember the Arab Spring? If you don't, okay, back in 2011, this uprising happened, out of nowhere in all these Arab nations. I think it was Tunisia or maybe Algeria that started it, and then it spread to Egypt and didn't really do anything in Qatar or what is the other one? Qatar or United Arab Emirates. Arab Emirates.
UAE.
Okay? You didn't hear much about it in Saudi Arabia, but it was, Syria. It was a couple of places in the Middle East. Libya.
Arab Spring, you said?
Yeah, Arab Spring. And then 2011, ISIS came about. And, let's see. The whole Benghazi thing.
Yeah.
They toppled, Gaddafi. They toppled Gaddafi. And that's when, you knew that something was afoot when the Benghazi thing happened and they tried to blame everybody but what it was all about. And all the weapons and all the flow of arms and stuff like that went to ISIS. And, that wasn't an accident. I watched a Corbett Report thing. This was years ago. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. Who really controls ISIS? Who funds ISIS? Where does ISIS come from? How did ISIS get so strong? And it turns out that the United States, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey basically created ISIS to try to wipe out Assad in Syria.
Okay.
Because they took a bunch of the U.S.-made weapons and stuff like that, and they just took it from the Iraqi army. How does that happen? And then another thing that always rubbed me the wrong way about this whole ISIS thing is they had a bunch of Toyota light sport trucks, like the four-door with the cabs, and they would outfit them with these guns, and they would call them technicals. Now, that's an age-old tactic by the CIA because they did the same thing to pretty much anywhere where the terrain was different. They the Mujahideen back in Afghanistan in the later 80s, they loved those little light sport utility Toyotas, the little 4x4, because that was the only vehicle that could really get around for them, and be reliable. So, make a long story short, this whole thing is, in my humble opinion, Trump pulling the plug on ISIS and then basically cleaning up the mess that was started under the Obama administration.
Yeah, and I know Obama gets credit for killing, who was the guy? I can't even think of his name now. He dead, lost to sea.
Bin Laden.
Yeah, Bin Laden.
Yeah, that was another BS, but let's move on.
Well, I understand. Well, anyway, like I say, Big Daddy, Baghdadi. And he got his other guy, and they got a bunch of intel. So we're going to stop those guys. We're going to snuff them out. To me, they remind me a lot of cockroaches. Anyway, nationally.
Floating around the net, though. I've seen this picture before. You might have seen it. Everybody hopefully has seen it. You got John McCain up there with ISIS and he's in there with a picture with Baghdadi, and he's smiling. He's got that stupid smirk on his face.
Yeah.
Listen,
What's that all about?
John McCain, because the United States created with the help of Israel,
Right.
Turkey, and Saudi Arabia and their
Right.
intelligence, they created ISIS.
Right.
They created ISIS.
What's
It wasn't that just rich Gulf Arabs and the Arab Spring and all that, and all the
Right.
fighters. They had nothing to do.
What's
No,
Big
they
Bad John
created
doing
that.
in the picture?
He was instrumental in helping ISIS get created.
Great American hero. They had his funeral lasted a whole week.
Yeah, I know the flag flew at half staff for a whole week.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
so like I said, I'll find that Corbett report. I'll link to
Do
it.
it, link it.
If you could disprove it, by all means, good luck. Have a field day. Comment in the sections below. But I guarantee
Please do.
the most that you're gonna do is come with some old BS story about, oh, they didn't really do that. No, they
Right.
did really do that.
Right. Staying on Trump, all this impeachment stuff, everybody's trying to turn on him, rat on him. Pelosi and them are just grasping at straws. The Republicans wanted open hearings. These guys were behind closed doors. The Republican senator stormed it and said, what's going on in here? Nothing's going on in there. They're just plotting. Every day they got a plot, impeachment, this, that, and the other to try not to get him elected. And they're pushing it further and further away from their objective to get him elected. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to tell you one more time, vote American. Whatever your party affiliation, vote American. Think about what's going on nationally. Again, the fires in California. There was a song lyric, California tumbles into the sea because of the San Andreas fault, this, that, and the other. Now it's engulfed with fires from northern California to Southern California. Those Santa Ana winds, another lyric by a great late band of mine. But anyway, long story short, and that's all man-made. That's all man-made, state-mandated problems. That's why you have those forest fires there. In California, all the tree huggers and everything else, they're the worst state in the union to implement new stuff, this, that, and the other. And they're on Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. They want to get rid of that guy or put him in the front lines fighting those fires. And a Godspeed to family and friends over there in that great state, the Golden State. But I mean, it's all man-made, and it's going to get worse. And who started the fire? And who's responsible for it? It is California's problem, and they've had time, years, and money, and they've exasperated everything, shutting off power to millions to stop the fire and electricity and all that stuff like that. So we wish everybody over there the best, and God be with you on that. We say God a lot. Ukraine thing being tossed around, this, that, and the other. It's tossed around to where it's not now in Trump's court, where it's all everybody's ratting on him on that, and it was nothing this and that, but it was nothing for Ukraine Joe and his son.
What did ratting on Trump for what?
Well, I mean, some guy in his command was up there today saying that he didn't, and he's doing a patriotic thing. He's a never-Trumper. Some colonel in Trump's cabinet saying that he had to do it for his patriotic duty, that he didn't like what Trump was saying. He thought that Trump was trying to twist the arm of this guy to get investigation on Biden and stuff like that, which means nothing.
No, but do you realize how like the quote-unquote deep state shadow government, like, boy, they are trying everything.
Right.
As the days wear on, dude, you could tell Trump is not one of these guys. I'm telling you, he's not one of these guys. Whether you could say he's controlled opposition or not, but you have to admit that the bad guys do not like Trump, because Trump is not one of them. This is not He's not Bush, Obama, Clinton, Bush. I mean, he's not of that ilk. So I want to back up to California real quick.
Go ahead.
I follow a couple of accounts on Instagram. I follow at Street People of Los Angeles. I follow at Santa Monica Problems, Ventura, Clean Up Ventura, and another one I can't think of right now, LA Homeless or something like that. And the homeless problem is so out of control in California, in the LA and the San Francisco.
San Fran.
And like, you can't, like, the homeless have more rights than a homeowner. homeless have more rights. A homeless person could assault you, and you could fight back, and they're arresting you because you assaulted a homeless person.
Right.
That's right. You
Right.
think I'm BS, and you follow some of these accounts, and you're like, God, how can they just let that happen? You know why? Because they can't do anything to it. The crazy courts and the Ninth Circuit Court Schlemiels, as Savage would say, have screwed everything all up to where they let them sit there. They start fires. They burn down other people's stuff. They burn down their own stuff. And they might get arrested, and they might spend 24 hours in jail, and they're right back out on the street. Now, I saw a graphic the other day. Can't remember where, or if I heard it or whatnot. It was 600. L.A., Los Angeles, or California spent, or maybe it was just L.A. spent $619 million on homeless.
Wow.
Yeah, $619 million for the homeless. But dude, that's if you had 60,000 homeless, that equates to over $10,000 per homeless person.
Wow, where's that money going?
Hold up. Where is that money going? Where is the money going? Over $10,000, and these people are still living like they're living.
Wow.
Look, you can't. So it was somebody I put. I think it was Clean Up Ventura was showing or talking about how there was a plan that was going to put 84 units made up of shipping containers. Hell, you could probably shelter 4 people, because here's the thing. You can't forcibly remove people off the street if they have nowhere to go. So they have to make them somewhere to go first. But it's so costly to build somewhere for them to go, and even the homeless people don't want to go to the shelters because the worst of the worst seem to go to the shelters. Like the normal, quasi, almost halfway decent normal people don't want to go to the shelter. So you still got people living on the street because there's nowhere to go. So, but it was somewhere they wanted to start building shipping container homes out of, shipping containers and little places to where they could have shelter. And it was costing them like somewhere over $300,000 per shipping container unit.
Wow.
There's no way. There's no way that's possible. Even in California, where is this money going? Where is the money going? Like, I don't understand. Like, that's why the politicians in California keep making this happen and keep dealing like ushering in more homelessness, because if you subsidize something, you get more of it.
Right.
So that's exactly what's happened. If you treat the homeless problem like they do in Los Angeles, you're going to get more of it. That's
right.
why they got people. I've heard they got people in other cities rounding up their homeless and giving $500 and a bus ticket to Los Angeles and tell them, look, free drugs,
that's what you said
free
the other
this,
day.
free that, and just going. And people are winding up. People are coming from all over the United States to Los Angeles to be homeless.
Wow. And they need to get Trump over there. He was just in Chicago, just downgrading Chicago with all their immigration, this, that, and the other, trying to help.
Sanctuary city stuff.
Yeah, sanctuary city. He was just trashing them, saying, man, get it together. Take care of the murder capital of the world, please, instead of taking care of all these other immigrants in there and stuff. And even like he did in San Francisco, he called Nancy out and said, man, Nancy, fix this place. It's shameful. And it really is. I mean, the pictures you see, I'm not making it up. You can search the net and see it.
I'm going to, on our Instagram, I might could link to some stuff I'll post something about. I'll try to repost something.
Good.
But you got to check out the 2 Street People of LA, and there's another one I'm starting to follow. And I guarantee you, like, okay, you have mental illness, then you got people that just don't want to live by
Right.
society's rules.
Right.
Okay? Then you got people that are just drug addicts. And so if you combine the mentally ill drug addict that wants to just be out on the street as a danger to themselves and the community and other people, and California does nothing about it. They want more of it.
Man, that brings back a memory. A couple of years ago, while we were living down there in South Texas, I was pulling out of a Walmart, and they had this long-haired dude, and he was bumming, and he just had his hand out. He didn't have a sign or nothing like that. And I said, man, why don't you try to get a job? He said, I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from California. I said, well, why don't you try to get a job down here, man? The job market's pretty good. Oh, no, I'm too antisocial, man. I can't work.
Yeah. Well, look,
so his job was to get out there and bum. I said, well, how much do you make daily? He said anywhere from $20 to $25, enough to eat, live on.
All right.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to reiterate, and the reason why I brought this up, if you are in a city where you start to see this and then it starts like growing, do something about it now.
Yeah.
Because especially if you live in an ultra liberal city, like they say Austin is becoming like that.
Right.
They say actually they got people from California moving to Austin to go be homeless.
Right, yeah, and that's what I just mentioned where I lived a couple of years ago down South Texas there, Victoria. Now they're dealing with the homeless crisis, and how are we going to put them up more than what they had when I was there living there? So I mean, it's all over. It's all over. The homeless, the immigrants, this, that, and the other.
But people, I guarantee, over 90% of the homeless are drug addicts.
Yep.
Mentally ill or mentally ill drug addicts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like so you have to factor that in. These poor people ain't got no home. Ain't got no dude in America, dude, with all the amenities in America, dude, you have to have like shunned and refused any help at the point to where you're at to be homeless. Either that or you really are just unfit to live life.
Well, they say that in Baton Rouge. If you don't want to work in this town, I mean, if you can't work in this town, you don't want to work. Well, let's move on from that.
Let's move on.
Locally, the governor's race, I believe it's kind of heating up. VP Pence was here to drum up more support for Eddie Rispone, the phony. I don't think he's a phony. He's a Republican, and he's going against Bell Edwards there, who's Democrat, who hadn't done anything. But I saw the take on Rispone today. I saw one of his commercials. He's going to stop the murder crime rate. He's going to bring up the education. Louisiana is last, and this and that. We're tired of being last. But I tell you what, the football team is number one in the land, just crowned number one this week after a close victory in Tiger Stadium in a muddy-type situation against the highly ranked Auburn Tigers. Give me a break, 23-20, and then Alabama waxes Arkansas 48-7, and they bump LSU. So it's what have you done for me lately? Style points, this and that. That the CFP rankings, the AP rankings, fill up the top 10 with at least 5 SEC teams every year, and then sure you're going to win and beat a top 10 team in the SEC. It's all put up for Alabama.
Texas A&M sucks. That was Auburn's quality win. Texas A&M sucks.
Yeah.
That was Auburn's quality win.
Right.
Auburn got beat by both Florida and LSU.
And now that Auburn beat Oregon too.
Who is Florida's quality win? Auburn. Yeah. Really and truthfully, like, who is Florida's quality win? Auburn and Miami? Miami sucks.
Right.
Miami sucks.
Right.
Couldn't even beat Virginia Tech in triple overtime or 6 overtimes or whatever the hell
LSU's top 10 win. Texas, where are they at?
Yeah, Texas,
they're
where are they
number
at?
27.
Oh, and speaking of a Big 12 team, good God. Oklahoma.
Typical.
Every time I start talking good about the defense, they go and prove me wrong. We couldn't stop anybody. Hurts did his thing. The offense did his thing. Yeah, we sputtered at times, but we scored 41 points and we're in position to win the darn game right there at the end.
Right.
And look, and I thought the rule is if the receiving team pushes the guy into the ball,
it is.
Doesn't that basically negate the whole fact that he touched the ball
Correct.
at the 9.5 yard marker?
I think they've come out and said they did make the mistake.
Yeah, they blew that call.
Yeah.
They blew that call.
Just on video replay, and you could see it.
Yeah, blowing the call or not, though.
No, it shouldn't have come down to that.
Shouldn't have came down to that. 48 points, 24 points in the first half, 24 points in the second. Couldn't stop the run, couldn't stop the pass on third down.
Conversions.
I'm so upset with the Sooner defense.
I talked to Big.
Everything else, hold up. Everything else looked about the way we normally play.
Yeah.
The Sooner defense, though, that is the worst I've seen them look since the Texas game last year.
Yeah, the Texas game.
Since the Texas game last year.
Right, but listen.
When they gave up 45 points.
And they're just, I was talking to Big Steve today about the Heisman yoke. I mean, it stays on you. Hurts is padding his stats. It looked a little bit out of sync. Then the Sooners kind of wake up and score 18 points just like that. And turnovers hurt. It's all a part of the game, but it should have never been that.
No,
I know it's tough in
like
Manhattan. And excuses are for teams that don't produce and don't play up their ability. Now the Sooners in Oregon, and who else has got one loss? Florida, and their path to the CFP and all their percentage points. I'm going to tell you what the CFP is going to do. LSU loses to Alabama, they're out. Alabama loses to LSU, they're in.
Yeah,
okay?
You're right.
Okay, and
you're right.
LSU's in.
I've been
so there's your
that.
two SEC teams.
All right, hold up.
Got to win out.
And you know why they put LSU
number one?
Hold up. You know why they put LSU number one? So if Alabama wins that game, no matter if Alabama loses the game or not, they beat the number one team.
That's
you remember
it.
when LSU was number one? They beat the number one team.
Right. And I mean, it's going to be a great game. You got 2 weeks to plan for it, less than 2 weeks now. I talked to someone today, said they're going to the game. They're going to go like LSU's going to lose. They're going to be calm and docile and just go watch the game and all that attitude.
Wait. You never... I don't give a care who you are. You never go into the game thinking you're going to lose.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Whoever that is, come on now. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, I'd rather
it could
not
be
name
somebody.
any names,
it could
but
be,
I told him I'd use him as an example.
It could be somebody I really like. You never go into that game. You never go into that game thinking you're going to lose. Any game, anything in life.
Yeah.
It don't matter if your team is garbage or not. We got beat 40-8 one time.
Yeah.
By OLV, back in our NA days.
Yeah.
And I was saying to myself, I was at the end of the game, bro, we were beat up. Yeah. They didn't just beat us, they beat us up. And I said, I think it was me and JP or me and somebody. I just looked at him and was like, boy, we just couldn't get it going today. You know?
Yeah.
Never wanting to admit that team was like the better team. Always like, we made the mistakes.
Right, I felt the same way. I felt the same way when my offensive coordinator put his son out there, Gabe P., put his son out there to play the fish, shark-eating Crane Comets 8th grade A team. And put him out there, and then I think Gabe within the first series got his leg broke. They just feasted on us. They had Billy C. and a couple of other guys and just ate us alive. And while I got Gabe P. on, and I'm sending you this Instagram, and I'll send you a Facebook. I'll send it to your text, Gabe. What is up with the NBA? Let me know, okay? I'm not waste anything on professional sports other than possibly baseball, but let me know what the NBA is all about and who's your primary team you're pulling for in the comments section, because I'm pretty perturbed at the LA Lakers with LeBron and all his stuff, this China thing. People are playing for money. China pays the bills. They can pull and say whatever they want to say. They're sellouts or whatever, but watered down version of professional sports. They're so young out there. They got so many people. And Zion's not playing for another month here in New Orleans Pelicans. So, Gabe, let me know what you think about the NBA. Coming out of Houston, let's see, Game 6 of the World Series. It's Houston 6. Game 6. Houston 2, Nationals 1. Houston wins tonight. They win the World Series. They got another chance if they don't tomorrow to wrap it up. But anyway, I mean, you're talking LSU, Alabama. It's now or never for LSU. Come on, it's what, 8 years now? I mean, they have the better chance than anybody to knock off Alabama. Tua may play, may not play, will play. It doesn't matter. You got the next man steps up, and Alabama, to me, defensively, looks a whole lot better than LSU right now, but they're right there. I read all the statistics, the NCAA statistics, third down conversions, pass defense, pass offense, this, that, and the other. They're numbers between each other. They're not ranked in the top 5 or any of like that. LSU, I think, is probably second or third, or maybe first in the nation of scoring, but that 23 points they put up the other day. Yeah. Let me tell you about Auburn. They rank them every. Gus Malzahn needs to go back to high school. Any big game reminds me of Big Game Bob. I hate to say it, but it's true. And I mean,
no, I'm not going to say that. I think he's
worse.
No, he's a little below Bob.
He's going with a freshman quarterback who LSU pestered and rushed and threw to receivers and overthrew them and underthrew them and this, that, and the other. He's going with a freshman quarterback to be highly ranked. There's other freshman quarterback out there. Check TCU in Texas this weekend. 5-star quarterback for TCU slammed Texas, okay? I mean, there's great quarterbacks out there. I just don't think this kid needs a little bit more grooming. He's confident and everything like that, but they had their chances against LSU. But I think Gus has got to be going, man, the hot seat or whatever. But, I mean, getting back to the CFP, there's a lot of one-loss teams that are going to be looking in, but the only one-loss team that's going to get in is going to be either Alabama or LSU. What do you think?
Yeah, it all depends. I mean, I always say just let the season shake out. But, Ohio State looks like they're probably going to make it.
Yeah.
Clemson. We could be sitting here looking at an undefeated Baylor,
Right.
You never know, dude. We could be sitting here looking at a one-loss Oklahoma because a bunch of other people lose,
Right.
Well, okay.
Oregon.
I'm just saying, what if the Pac-12 loses again? What if Clemson loses their championship game? What if Ohio State loses? What if both Alabama and LSU lose? And then if somebody got to lose when LSU plays Alabama,
I think Ohio State and Penn State play this week, or they're both on buys.
It's just, I'm just saying, chaos always seems to hit you right when you think you got everything all figured out.
Yeah.
As far as life and the CFP.
Well, yeah, and the chaos always hits Oklahoma with Mayfield, with Murray. They had one loss, and they got in.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, look, and I will say this: don't put it past ESPN and Disney because money talks.
Right.
To slight a Big 12 or a Big 10 team because Big 12 and the Big 10 have TV deals with Fox.
Yeah.
This whole Fox ESPN thing, war that's been going on between the cable providers and Fox and stuff like that. You don't think for 2 seconds that is going to factor in on which team gets into the college playoff? You might want to go check yourself.
Yeah, and that's what I was explaining to somebody else, one of our listeners, about. They don't realize what I'm talking about. That Fox is trying to get great games. They got Big Noon Saturday.
They got great games.
Stuff
they got
like
their
that.
own, just like they compete with Game Day now.
Yeah,
when
they just don't have the crowd and all the Home Depot stuff.
ESPN went to who was it? South Dakota and somebody that day when they should have been at Ohio State, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's like I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm sure Herbstreit wanted to be there, and even though it was the Battle of the Dakotas, I mean, it just didn't. I watched maybe 5 minutes of it, 10 minutes of it. I watched what they said about LSU. I watched about my teams. I watched about the big games, and I think the big games are coming up this weekend, which really irrelevant. I think you got Georgia and Florida. Okay, so Georgia beats Florida.
Iowa State,
Florida,
Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, they're off. Oklahoma's off.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think Ohio State and Penn State, it may be this weekend, or they may. It's funny, everybody's got the big teams got buys, but that Georgia-Florida, if Florida wins, hopefully they do, Georgia's out. Okay? Got to be.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, Auburn's got 2 losses, but they're still number 10 in the CFP ESPN projected rankings with 4%, and you got Utah right behind. I mean, Utah's got 1 loss, okay? Oregon's got 1 loss.
Yeah, listen, our 1 loss doesn't look any worse than Utah's 1 loss at SC.
Yeah.
Georgia's 1 loss, in my humble opinion, looks bad because South Carolina continues to lose.
Right.
They lost 2 games in a row right after they beat Georgia.
Right.
So I'm just saying, it's still wide open. But at the end of the season, if we don't get in, all I'm going to say is we should have took care of business.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and cry foul. Now, if we get snubbed over, if we win our conference.
Yeah.
And we get snubbed over a 1-loss SEC team that didn't win their conference, then, I'll have something to say.
Yeah, and we always do. I mean, but we always wind up in there, though.
But I guarantee a conference champion Oklahoma and a conference champion Alabama or LSU is going to get it, And if you have a conference champion Clemson that's undefeated and a conference champion Ohio State, you'd have 4 conference champions. That would be your playoff right there.
Yeah.
I personally, listen, and if the SEC goes and wins, fine, kudos, great.
Right.
But, when it gets to playoff times, throw your record out the window, throw everything you've done up to that point out the window, because we've seen LSU look bad at times. We've seen LSU look good at times.
Yeah.
We've seen every other team also look bad and good at times. But when it comes down to Dabo Swinney and who's the
Dabo?
Dabo, and then our guy, we've been there three. If OU would make it, it would be 3 years in a row. God,
Right.
wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
And then Ohio State's guy, the new coach. It's not
Right.
Luke Fickell.
Ryan Day.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're looking at programs that got that name brand, and I'm not saying LSU is not a name brand,
Right.
but if it came down to a Oklahoma or a Ohio State or a Clemson,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
If all those teams went out and if we win our conference, I'm just saying, even with our one loss to Kansas State,
Yeah.
they're not going to snub.
Well,
they're not going to snub those two teams to put two SEC teams in. That's
don't
not
know,
fair.
bro.
I'm saying
I know it's not
it's
fair,
just
but
not
it is
fair.
what's going to be.
It's just not fair.
That's what they've been
Especially
wanting.
if they've already played each other mid-season. Come on.
Yeah, and that's what it's projected to be. But anyway, I posted on the net somebody was trashing our team or this, that, and the other, or was questioning LSU should have been better, this and that. And I posted on the internet, just think where LSU is at now. Think where, like you just said, Ohio State and Oklahoma always up in that rarefied air. Clemson, Alabama. And think where LSU is now. Right. And it's really come. He got a kicker. He got a quarterback. He got different coordinators, Coach O. And I got to hand it to him. He went out and got the best that possibly money could buy. And he's got the things going on. But look at those programs that were national powers and have all that prestige still. If they could get on the winning track, Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska.
USC.
Just
listen.
SC.
USC, Florida State.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Penn State could still shock everybody.
Right. Who are the powers? Michigan.
Yeah. Notre Dame.
Right.
I tell you what,
Notre Dame.
I wouldn't want to trade for Notre Dame season right about now.
No,
they're done.
Well, yeah, they are done. They're not into it. I mean, they won't be into it. But I mean, and then they got beat by who? Beat them the other day?
Michigan beat them.
Right. I mean,
so they got losses to Georgia and Michigan. They're
look
done.
at the most winning programs in the past 20 years, or 25, counting Nebraska in there, or Tennessee, and look where their programs are now. Barely playing better than 500 balls. So you got to be fortunate, and that's why I was telling somebody the other day. there's got to be going on 2 generations down here in Baton Rouge that LSU's had winning football.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were, when did Saban come in? When did LSU, when they had Ornsbarger here and all that stuff? I think Curly Hallman was the last losing coaching seasons that they had, besides, that they were below 500. And those kids that were in those stands now have grown and have kids. So you're looking at a couple of generations here of good football down this way, always in the mix of thing, LSU. And then you have this Heisman talk, which if I had to give the Heisman Trophy out, which I told Steve it's a prestige thing, could you tell me who won last year? Could you tell me who won the year before? Yeah, we know, because it was Mayfield and Murray. Could you tell me who won before Mayfield? I don't know, but Mayfield
Lamar
was
Jackson.
up there.
I think it was Lamar Jackson.
Okay, but I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. That is a prestigious trophy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trashing John Heisman, who was a thespian, much less, not a lesbian. He was a thespian, much less a theater producer and actor.
All right.
Besides the coach, I'm going to bring you the John Heisman book, and I'm going to tell you the tenets of how do you play football for John Heisman.
Yeah.
It'll blow your mind. What do you got?
Okay, let's get back. Let's get back to something real quick. I just want to get something real quick. Nick sucks. Okay, Nick sucks. Those wide receivers from Auburn were wide ass open. I just want to throw that out there. If I watch some of the replay again today,
he had time to throw.
Nick sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give LSU all the credit in the world, but I'm just saying. I mean, Nick sucks.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
And then Trask. And Trask was better than Nick's, and I'm just saying, Florida went up and down the field on LSU.
Even though they got beat by 2 touchdowns.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that real quick.
Yeah. I thought LSU would cover the score. Now, he's got a local thing, and we're going to have to get down to the shout-outs here.
That, you like certain things to just go away, And this is something, if you're an LSU fan, that isn't just going to go away. And anybody in town knows what I'm talking about. And I'm just going to get right to it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain it here in a nutshell. Okay. Ex-Lake Foundation head sentenced in embezzlement scheme. He gets 33 months. Dude's name was John Paul Funes. Convicted and he has to spend 33 months in federal prison for embezzling nearly $800,000 from a nonprofit. The crimes and sins I committed were the result of my weaknesses. Okay? Your weaknesses included buying suites at the LSU football game and the Saints game and giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to family members of two kids that came to LSU to play football, foosball, and over since back going all the way back to the Rohan
Davey.
And that's just what they caught you for.
Right.
That's not, and that's just like, who else is doing that out there?
Right. But
hey, hold up. So
go ahead.
How, you can defend this and be like, well, he's just doing that out the goodness of his pocket, and you mean to tell me nobody at LSU knew that was going on? None of the coaches. You know what that sounds like, though?
What?
Strong-ass offer.
Strong-ass offer.
Strong-ass offer. That's what that sounds like. Stingley Jr. or whatever?
Yeah.
That Mr. All-World DB?
Yeah.
That's now at LSU. He was going to come to OU?
Yeah.
And then change his mind at the last minute?
Wow.
Sounds like a strong-ass offer to me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, now that the point I'm trying to make is, now that this guy's been convicted,
right, and
he's like already spilled his beans, darn good and well, at least you would like to think that darn good and well, that somebody somewhere at the NCAA would be like, hey, what exactly is going on down there? Because you got this guy that was embezzling all this money and giving over, $100,000, $140,000, $150,000 a pop to these LSU football players, and nothing ever came of that, Nothing.
Yeah.
That's way illegal. As far as I know, that's really illegal. Just like, you got the $1 million team, the basketball team, where the coach was doing that.
Right.
The coach.
Yeah.
So it's like, my point I'm trying to say is that be looking for something to come of it. And if nothing comes of it, I'm going to remember that. And next time I hear anybody in town complaining about, they're paying to play, they bought that dude, and be like, I think you need to go ahead and shut your mouth. Because they bought a lot of the stuff on your team, and they caught people doing it, and you didn't say nothing about that then.
That's what I'm saying. If he was buying suites for all these games, he was taking the gift cards given to cancer patients, too. How low can you get there? Hey, look, I'm not judging the guy. He's already been judged.
I'm judging the guy.
He did a bad thing.
Yeah.
He did a bad thing for some good people. But, bottom line is, you said it right there. So nothing happened. He sent money to Rohan Davies' family. He sent money to Vidal Alexander's family. Well, why didn't he send money to my family? You know what I'm saying? I could have used hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why did he just pick those two guys out?
Not only that, but $150,000 to come play football at your school to the family. That's illegal. I'm sorry. That's like some old SMU NCAA violation stuff.
Then he was fined $50,000 for this thing. He paid back. He restituted. He wrote him a check for 90% of it.
Yeah.
He's got remorseful, this and that. He'll go away 33 months. He may get out in less time than that.
He ain't going to do 33 months.
But, the point being is this money thing, just like the basketball, just like anything else, everywhere. It just doesn't happen here. Okay, but everybody else, you look at Mississippi State, they did it.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss, and look at them. They haven't won. They haven't had winning seasons since they were put on probation, so to speak. And they have formidable teams, but there's nothing good coming out of Mississippi except that betting. We need to get over there and do some betting next football season.
Yeah.
I'm going to save all my money starting this point, and we're going to go to the Gold Coast and do it. Man, I want to give some shout-outs to family. Again, those people in California, I have a cousin in Riverside, California, SoCal, and we have our son and brother up there in NoCal. Wish I could hear from you. Well, that don't, Godspeed to you. I'd like to give a shout-out to my cousin Joe in Florida. Her and her family will get there one day, this and that. Heath Mendoza, USMC, Okinawa, Japan. Keep protecting us. Kane Taylor. Good luck. Miss you. Love you. Looking for the shadow. And who else? You got any shout-outs? I know you got some shout-outs for people at work, this, that, and the other, no?
Nah, I mean, if you're watching the show, thank you.
Yeah.
If you like what you see below, click some of the links, give us a comment, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification that alerts you. You basically get like a text message every time we put up a show. I flirted with getting a new website. It's $120 all said and done with the web hosting and everything. I don't think we need it.
Send money. Throw money.
I don't think we need it.
No.
I'm not going to set up a Patreon or a GoFundMe or something like that. I mean, if I got 120 spare dollars, which I doubt I'll have at Christmas time,
maybe I can dig it up here.
Yeah, but I mean, we had thought about, it's a luxury that we do this.
Yeah.
Peace, we've thought about ending it. We've thought about, what should we do next? Should we just start doing football 24/7? Should we just start doing, just food tasting? Should we start doing beer tasting? Should we start, and the only thing that I've come up with is that we need to just come to y'all as much as we can. Anytime we get some free time, anytime we can do a show, we'd like to do once a week. If we can't do once a week, hopefully you understand why. If you are missing us, if you don't get your weekly dose of Joe and Joe Show, please let us know.
Yeah.
We will come to your house, wherever you're at, and do a show at your house, and we'll set up a third mic, and we could talk about the world.
Talk about the world.
Talk about the world.
For all my Aggie fans out there, our Aggie fans, Cody, Mark, stay true to it. Lily, stay true to it. Next year could be your year. But anyway, I'd like to give another shout-out to someone who's going through some difficult times, had some tragedy in her life. A dear friend that worked with us down there in Victoria while we're there this last stint, Rose. We hope everything's all right for you. Godspeed to you and your thoughts and your family. But then again, family's coming up. Faith, family, food, football, Thanksgiving. Start preparing your meals. Start preparing your family. Give them hugs. Those who don't like, those who don't hear from, give them a holler maybe. And it's all fodder. It's all free talk. It's free speech here still. But, I mean, it means a lot. Faith, family, football, turkey, all that stuff coming up within the next couple of weeks. I got nothing else to say except you little guys out there, drink all your milk, say your prayers on your knees. Joe?
That's it. We'll see y'all later. Hopefully we'll get to y'all after... definitely before the Alabama game.
Please, beat Bama.